What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of They Don't Know I Be Cooking. And today, I'm going to show you how to make some garlic mashed potatoes. Now, this recipe is really straightforward. If you could just do me a favor and hit that like button and hit the subscribe button, because I drop videos like this throughout the week, alright? And now, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so what we have here is 5 pounds of russet potatoes. I've already washed and cleaned them. And now when it comes to making mashed potatoes, the best options in my opinion are russet potatoes, red potatoes, or Yukon Gold. Now the first thing that we're going to do is peel our potatoes. So I got my peeler, and now I like to leave some skin on my potatoes as it adds some texture, but you can peel the skin off completely or you can leave it on. It's entirely up to you. Now as you peel the skin, they will begin to oxidize and they can start turning brown, so you want to be as quick as possible. And now we're going to chop them into smaller pieces. So for the larger potatoes, I'm going to cut them into 4s. And then for the smaller potatoes, I'm just going to cut them in half. And the goal is to have them all at a similar size so that when we boil the potatoes, they all cook evenly. So now I got a pot on the stove heating at medium to high heat. And instead of pouring in water, which you can also do, I'm going to be pouring in 6 cups of chicken broth. So this is the first 4 cups. And this is the additional 2 cups. Using chicken broth as opposed to water is going to add some additional flavor to the mashed potatoes. And then once it begins to boil, we're going to start adding in our potatoes. And then once you add in the potatoes, the temperature of the broth will drop. So you want to increase the heat to bring it back to a boil. And now we're going to cover it with the lid, and this should boil for about 8 minutes. And as this boils, I'm going to chop some chives, which will be used for garnish later on. Okay, so it's been about 8 minutes. I'm going to remove the lid, and then you want to grab a fork and you want to gently poke the potatoes to see if they're done. And if they're done, they should go right through or even break apart. And as you can see, these are done. So I'm going to kill the heat, and then we're going to drain the pot from the chicken broth. And through the magic of editing, I'm going to snap my fingers and the pot will be drained. Alright, so now it's time for my favorite part, which is mashing the potatoes. So I'm going to grab my masher and I'm going to get to work. And then once they've all been mashed, I'm going to begin to add my additional ingredients. So while it's still hot, I'm going to add 1 full stick of unsalted butter. I know this is a lot, but if you ever worked at a restaurant, then you would see how much butter actually goes into mashed potatoes. So this should begin to melt on its own. And then we're going to add in 1/2 cup of cream cheese. I'm also going to add 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, which is about 5 to 6 cloves of fresh garlic. And then we're going to mix these together before we add some additional ingredients. Okay, so once they've been mixed, now we're going to add in 3/4 cup of buttermilk. And this should give us a nice smooth consistency, as you see here. And now you want to add some salt and pepper to taste. So typically, I will use about 1 teaspoon of black pepper and 1 teaspoon of salt, but you want to start small. So I would say start with about 1/2 teaspoon of each, and then slowly build your way up. So now we're going to put this into a small bowl and sprinkle some of those chives on top for garnish. And that's it. We have our garlic mashed potatoes. Now this is one of my personal favorite sides. It goes great with beef, chicken, fish. I mean, the list goes on. Now, as always, if you enjoy this recipe, please let me know in the comments, and please like, subscribe, and share. And enjoy.